Some damn balloons. I'm keeping this in.
What's up, y'all? Got a little silliness to start out the show. It's your girl Ash Benny, and I am coming back to you guys with the second episode of Lip Gloss and Ladders. I am so excited. I got my girl Reese here with me. How are you doing tonight? We got a little bit of a Lip Gloss and Ladders after dark episode.
Yes.
Okay.
You're doing great.
I love. Gabby, how you doing tonight?
I am here. I'm good.
Birthday week.
That.
Whoop, whoop. You see my new
Birthday
girl
girl,
in the background?
You're
Okay,
Cancer
beautiful.
queen.
I am a
queen.
Cancer.
The belts are a thing of beauty. Beautiful. Do you have any side plate goals for the Raw Women's Championship?
Ooh, that's a good one. I don't know. I'm trying to find Sasha's old belts. I've been like searching like resale sites trying to find that one.
Ooh, that would be dope.
Yeah.
And then of course we have our lovely KB. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. It's Saturday night, just chilling.
Yeah, I'm excited. We've got a special after hours episode of Lip Gloss and Ladders tonight. We got a lot of fun things to talk about. So I just wanted to get right into it. Let's do a little bit of a discussion of some of the news that's been trending this week. I want to get into first. I don't know if everybody here is into gaming or stuff like that, so I had to toss this in here just for my little gamer heads. But for Call of Duty Season 5, we had a really, really cool announcement where we had WWE superstars Cody Rhodes, Rhea Ripley, and Rey Mysterio were announced in this new season pack. I don't know if you guys saw the trailer or any of the HD photos.
Oh, it looks good.
Amazing.
2K24, get up off the floor, like fight back.
No, you know who needs to fight back? AEW. That video game needs to fight back because that game is not good.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
I have the game.
Fight Forever was the free game of the month.
I haven't even opened it.
Yeah,
Don't.
Fight Forever was the free game of the month. That's an indicator. That's always an indicator
Facts.
that things are not looking the best. Yeah. But does anybody play Call of Duty?
I used to play Call of Duty
now
for
that
a while. I'm the resident cozy gamer here. I play Call of Duty. I have not played for a while, and I will say the potential to get mommy definitely is motivating me to probably buy the game again.
Facts.
I'm gonna have to play it on regular mode before I get in there because I don't want to get cussed out by a 10-year-old in the server. Like,
no, for real. Like, I don't have time for that. Like, go find your mom. Like, no.
Yeah. I need a couple warm-ups before I'm in the ring.
I can't be beefing with Timmy because I'll take it there.
I will find you.
Timmy,
I will find you. I'll find you.
I will dox you, Timmy. I'll call your mama's job.
No, for real. I will find you. Please don't try me, Timmy.
You about to look at the profiles like who is
you
this?
need to know what your son is doing. Do you know what your son is doing? Do you know what your son is doing on this game?
Do you know what he just called me?
Like, these little kids be crazy on these games. Be crazy. But I'm definitely going to try to get it. My husband, he has Call of Duty, so I might just sneak in and get the season pass. It's so funny because anytime they drop any of these skins, for Fortnite, for example, when they had Bianca and Becky, I got the skins. Have I played Fortnite? No, but I have Bianca Belair in the game. Like, I have Bianca Belair in the game. If I want to play, I have the option. You know what I'm saying?
I could not get into Fortnite. Like, my bad. I couldn't get into Fortnite, but like Call of Duty, I used to play and I used to be so trash at it. So that's why I just never bought the new ones. But I think I want this one just for mommy.
That's so fair.
I thought you were Liv Morgan.
I want to be more of a gamer.
What's happening?
Listen, I love mommy too, but
Explain yourself.
But listen,
not caught in 4K.
Period. Like, right, you call me out. I love mommy, but I don't play about Liv.
Okay.
You don't play about Liv.
I just had to like bring that to attention that like you was Team Liv, and all of a sudden you want to play for mommy.
I'm still Team Liv. I still like mommy, but I'm still Team Liv always.
Okay. Fair enough. Just wanted to check. Had to follow up.
a little temperature check. So super fun. Moving on. Super fun news. NXT has announced that NXT Great American Bash will be a 2-week affair with the events taking place on July 30th and August 6th. I believe that this is happening because of the Olympics. It will be showing on Sci-Fi, not on our usual USA network. Just thought that was a cool little thing to add up in here. Did WWE have like a Sci-Fi era or?
Oh, they did. ECW was on Sci-Fi when they did their ECW reboot was on Sci-Fi. And SmackDown, I believe, was on Sci-Fi for a little bit.
I feel like it was. Yeah, it's a nice backup.
It's a nice, like, it's like a little nostalgia. But yeah, ECW when they did that rebrand, which oddly,
we're not gonna talk
so
about
that's a fun little nod.
Unironically,
I'm not talking about it.
That's a fun little nod. I like that. I'm excited. I'm excited for Great American Bash. It's already looking like we've got a good card potential coming up. We'll talk about that a little more this week once that card is more laid out for us. But let's move on and talk about something that we didn't get to touch upon in the premiere episode last week, which was a big news. Stephanie Vacquer. Stephanie Vacquer seemingly dropping the CML and New Japan Pro Wrestling contract very abruptly on July 10th. Everybody was kind of speculating. And then that same night, Shawn Michaels released a tweet welcoming Stephanie to the NXT team. I feel like a lot of people saw it coming, but I feel like the ownership and the way Shawn kind of debuted announced that. Yeah, like she's ours. Oh yeah, you guys heard that AEW was bidding for her. Yeah, we won. We got her. And then on top of that, they had her debut in a match against Isla Dawn in Mexico City, and then a follow-up match in Monterey. So I want to toss it to you, KB. Are you excited to see what Stephanie Vacquer is going to bring to the NXT Women's Division?
I'm definitely excited, like from watching her with Mercedes Moné. That was a great match. And just knowing from even last year when she was in the match for the New World Japan belt, like just to see what she's going to bring to WWE is very exciting.
Yeah, super duper exciting. I personally feel like she's going to bring a level of legitimacy to the division that's not necessarily there right now, just because we still have like a whole bunch of athletes. We have a whole bunch of athletes in that women's division, and I feel like adding Stephanie, adding Julia is really going to add that stamp of approval. But I'm very curious, Reese, do you see Stephanie touching championship gold soon when she enters the WWE zeitgeist?
You know, if this was a black and gold era, I feel like she'd be in an NXT women's title match next week. If this was a black and gold era, but it's like the women's division at WWE is so heavy right now. I'm so excited to see her, to see even Julia. I feel like it adds a level of legitimacy. I was taken aback. I was surprised. Everybody was like, "Oh yeah, we saw that coming." I was like, "Not me." But I do definitely think that we see her touch gold in WWE, and within maybe the next 18 months for sure.
I don't even think she's going to be down there that long. I don't think her or Julia will even be in NXT that long, honestly. I think they're there to learn the WWE style of things, to learn how to talk, to learn how to find the hard cam, things like that. Right. And I think within, honestly, 6 months, they're going to be, next Mania season, they're going right up. Like, I think they're just there. It's not about skills. They're not down there for skills. Like, let's not play this game. Both of them are, like, up there. But I don't think they'll last long. I think that they'll be there, again, and learn, like, the WWE style of things. And, like, the minute they got it, like, all right, I got to bump you up. Because let's be honest, do you really want to see Julia up against Kalani Jordan? I mean, yes, it sounds great. But, like, let's talk real rap. Do you really want to see that match? Because I don't. Yeah. We're probably going to get it. Don't get me wrong. But, like, do you see that? Do you see that match? Do you see that match headlining NXT? No, you don't.
It's definitely more beneficial for the girls. Yeah,
for sure.
I think they're there to polish. I think they're there for like that refinement in the promo,
to learn the brand. You were
saying,
you have
Gabby.
To learn the brand.
And also, I think that it would be very beneficial for girls to get in the ring with someone like Stephanie and somebody like Julia.
It's gonna help Roxanne be a better champion, having the two of them chasing her.
I would love to see. Do you have like Gabby? Do you have anybody that you would? I know that you said that you don't really care to see too many matchups in NXT against Julia and Stephanie, but is there any couple of matchups that you've been thinking about that you would like to see?
Besides them against each other and Roxanne? I think those are the obvious choices.
That's what I want.
Yeah, I think that's what everybody wants at this point. To see them against each other. I think that it's going to force Roxanne to be a better champion. Just like Jordan Grace took Roxanne to that next level, I think the two of them will push her up even further.
For sure, for sure. I have to agree. I definitely have to agree. I'm very curious to see how they're going to choose to debut Stephanie and how they're going to choose to debut Julia, because I know that a lot of the word was that Julia was going to show up at Heatwave and she didn't. So I kind of like that they're waiting a little bit and giving Roxanne a little bit more time to breathe and figure out what exactly is the next move. But I'm very, very curious to see how this is going to go down. I'm very, very curious. Very, very curious. So moving on.
Chef Michaels.
Still, yes. Shout out to Shawn Michaels.
Shout out to Chef Michaels in the kitchen, yo.
Yeah, big pop. Big pop. So moving on, we have to talk about the CMLL Women's Championship won by Willow Nightingale. I believe, what was it, July 13th? In a really great match against Viva Van as well as Luvia. In a triple threat match, I was super happy that Willow was able to get some gold this year, just because like I feel like when she lost the TBS championship, she's so deserving of gold. She's so over. She's such a top talent. I think that she's so worthy of having a belt. So I think that right now it's the right move. But I'm very curious to ask KB, what do you think about the potential of Willow taking this belt around AEW as well as doing CML?
Well, with Willow, I am a fan of Willow, so I just feel like putting her in AEW with this belt, it could just take her to new storylines along with Mercedes with the TBS belt, and then Tony and Mariah with this AEW belt. So it's just gonna be adding on to more storylines. Because I just feel like the women are taking over AEW more than the men. So for her just to bring on a new championship to AEW, it's just gonna be more storylines for women.
Yeah. Gabby, do you think that they could potentially run into a bit of an issue that AEW has had in the past with too many belts? It kind of loses the importance a bit?
So, no, I don't know how this is going to play out. I think it was very obvious that Willow was going to take this belt, right? Like, let's not play this game. And I find it very interesting that everyone will put a belt on Willow Nightingale except for AEW. Yes, I understand she just dropped the title to Mercedes. I understand that. However, she was very much in transitional title as her transitional champion. So I just find it interesting that everyone's willing to put their belts on Willow except for AEW. So I want to see how AEW uses it, even if they allow her to kind of have the belt on AEW TV. Sometimes there are issues with that where they're not allowed to use their outside belts on AEW television. So I'm kind of curious how this is going to play out, but just put a pin in the fact that no one will AEW won't put a belt on Willow.
Yeah, and I have to agree because I feel like Willow, especially in the past year, to me, she was deserves. MVP. Yeah, she was MVP of 2023, star-making year for Willow, and I want to see her featured more on TV. I personally feel like the Statlander storyline, like they kind of pushed. It's seeming like they're still choosing to go through with it, but they kind of pushed through it a little too quickly, in my opinion.
Yeah, agreed. They stunt her a lot. They stunt Willow a lot.
Yeah, elaborate a little bit more on that, Reese.
So with like Willow, I feel like she shouldn't have lost to Mercedes. Like I love Mercedes Moné, like I love Sasha Banks, but she shouldn't have lost. I feel like that storyline it was like, okay, we trust you enough to take the belt here, but you're only to get it here. And I feel like they need to start trusting her a lot more with more features, with more title matches. She can be that champion for them.
Absolutely. They just won't. They don't. Something about it. They just won't. They won't commit to her fully, and it really bothers me because again, like Willow can get busy, and she has the crowd. She has the skill. She has all of the things. She's gorgeous. Like, why won't we trust Willow? In Willow, we trust.
Yeah. Yeah, and Willow we trust. Put that on a shirt, baby. Put that on a shirt. Especially since they always seem to trust her with those big moments. Like, for example, she was in the Owen Hart finals. Mm-hmm. Like, they know that she's going to deliver. So I would love for her to be paid for that, to be fairly, to have her moment and to actually be able to have a legitimate championship reign. I think that would be really, really cool for Willow.
Mm-hmm.
So, moving on, let's talk a little bit. I thought that this was like a cool little tidbit. Xia Li is going to be going to MMA. I know that.
Yeah, she was on Busted Open this week.
I'm very, very curious. Same. Yeah, I'm very, very curious. I haven't seen that interview yet, but I can't wait to listen, because I always love to hear when people leave WWE, just to hear their perspective and their experience with the entire situation. I know that there was like a quotable going around where she was saying that WWE wasn't allowing her to do MMA, like formal MMA matches, which it makes sense with the level of scheduling that they're working.
Right.
To get to the potential of getting injured is super, super high. But again, that's her experience. That's the story that she chooses to tell, and we respect that. But the full statement is Combat Night MMA announced that Xia Li will compete against Zamora Lee on August 3rd. She is also set to compete in an indie wrestling show for the West Coast Pro Wrestling on August 17th. So shout out to her. She's seemingly making a name for herself out on the indies while also starting a new career in MMA. I'll have to like follow up on that and see, because I'm actually very curious to see how.
Yeah, we gotta put a pin in that for sure.
Yeah, I want to see how she's gonna do.
Best choice for her. A best choice for her. I feel like she was more of an MMA style wrestler. Anyway, not gonna lie, I'm gonna say a little bit of a hot take here. She was not the safest. In the ring, her style is a little bit more reckless. Like, and as a pure, not to be a purist, I feel like, not a purist, but like I'm trying to be PC here.
For what?
I feel like
our
MMA
podcast. Say what you want. This is our shit. Say what you want.
It's our shit. It's our stuff. It's our stuff.
It's ours. Say what you want, girl.
Ours. Okay, I will be honest. Like, yes, I feel like she needs to freely be able to hit people, because, like, you really thinking this is MMA here, and it's just like, no, you can't knock somebody upside their head and think it's okay, Xia.
Yeah, they got to work Friday.
Right, yes.
But that's also what held her back, because she could wrestle, right? Like, we're not going to deny that she could get busy in the ring. However, you have to be able to kind of balance that.
Yeah.
Your skill, and just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do something.
Yeah.
I think she was skilled, but not. She was very skilled.
She wasn't controlled.
Controlled enough. Yes, control. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yes,
she wasn't controlled.
She was not controlled. She's very skilled, not controlled enough. And I think this will fit her, and I think she will finally find where she truly belongs, because she's fast. She's scary good. She's good at striking, even in a wrestling standpoint. But it's just like, I wanna be able to see tomorrow. Like,
yeah,
that strong style ain't for everybody. It's not for everybody.
Exactly.
And that's a whole other thing. You have to be able to adapt. Like, can you come from any part of the world or any part of the country with different styles of wrestling and be able to adapt to that WWE style? Because the WWE style of wrestling is definitely different from any, like, I was watching the Noah matches, the Io Sky match and the Julia match as well. To see Io Sky with the cuffs off was so cool. So cool. Little random tangent, but very, very different from your typical WWE match. So yeah, so I'll watch. If you guys want to watch too, we'll definitely talk about it in the chat. If there's any clips that are, I'm sure there'll be viral moments pertaining to that Xia Li match, but we'll definitely keep you guys updated on our thoughts. So moving on, we have a little bit of indie wrestling, something that I'm very, very excited about. I've been in my career of one of these ladies for a little bit, and I'm super excited to see her growth. So the National Wrestling Alliance, NWA, announced that Eves has signed an exclusive contract with the promotion. So I'm excited to see what La Princesa does with the promotion. She's been booked and busy recently, like one of the hottest women indie wrestler stars coming up in the ranks as of late. So I'm really, really proud of her. Happy that she signed that exclusive deal and excited to see how NWA utilizes. We also have Kenzie Page signing a long-term deal. Do you guys think that it's interesting that NWA is seeming to do these exclusive contracts with wrestlers?
I do. Like, I, again, knowing the history of NWA is to see them focusing on the women a lot more, going back to their roots, is refreshing to see to say the least. Like, I also feel like we're in the middle of a women's wrestling renaissance, and NWA is catching on, and they're like, we're also on that wave. So I'm very
get with the
excited to
times.
see
Get
it.
with the times.
Yeah,
sure. super excited to see what these ladies do. I personally, like, in terms of like the NWA product, still very new to it. I've been watching routinely like a little bit of their clips. Shout out to Pat. He's been helping me on a lot of stuff. So I'm excited to see where this goes and to see how they utilize the women's division going forward. Next, we have some signing news with WWE. We have some major signings. The Motor City Machine Guns are expected to sign with WWE. Kind of shocking, just in the sense that I feel like TNA is getting the short end of the stick of this deal, y'all. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if you guys agree with me.
TNA I think we all can agree on this point because it's crazy because WWE is getting Jordan Grace. They're getting Joe Hendry. They're getting the Rascals. And like they're sending over to TNA like what's his face's son? Yeah, since over with like you know what I mean? Like they're not sending over like big stars as opposed to them sending their heavy hitters over to WWE. But I also think part of that problem is that they tape like 2 weeks in advance. So like there are no surprises in TNA for real, because you read the spoilers and you log on Twitter and you see it. So I think that's part of it as well. I don't know. And then I honestly try to watch TNA every week and baby, I can't. The pay-per-views hit. The pay-per-views literally do not miss. Like they're great. They're worth the money.
Watch Anniversary.
But like, man, like I truly try to watch it on Thursdays, and within like 15-20 minutes, I'm like, all right, we're gonna turn on Bob's Burgers. We're done with this.
That is my comfort show as well.
Yeah, that's enough. But I mean, talk about a shot in the arm for the tag team division. Reese, are you like excited to see them
so excited
make that crossover to WWE?
So excited. There was a point in time, if you guys the 06 through 09 lull and the 2012 through 2015 lull. Like during that 09 lull, like I really discovered and found my love for TNA. So to see like the 10 big wigs in TNA like Samoa Joe, Motor City Machine Guns to come over, it's just I never thought it would happen. I never thought I would see the day. It's up there with like a Sting signing for the Motor City
for sure.
Machine Guns. Like it's like I never thought I would see the day. So I'm very, very excited to see what they'll bring. I'm excited to see if they debut on straight to the main roster. I
was gonna say where they go.
Black and right. If they give I was about to say Black and Gold. Ooh, 2.0. If they give them a real shot, I do feel like they could fit in anywhere and be an elite tag team. I, as a tag team girly, feel like there with this tag team division is missing. You can put them on Raw, you can put them on SmackDown, you can put them in NXT, and I feel like it'll elevate the tag team division to be exactly where I need it to be. So I'm excited to see. I saw that. I was like, that's not true. I hope it's true so bad.
Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. I was super excited, but at the same time, all I can think about is like, damn, what about TNA? You know, like what about the infrastructure of TNA? Like they're losing people by the.
They're working on a skeleton crew right now.
Yeah. Like Jordan Gray, like the Slim Pickens. I knew that when Steph DeLander came out as one of Jordan's challengers, I was like, yeah, they're.
Yeah.
The locker room's looking pretty low right now.
Slim
the locker
Pickens.
room's looking pretty empty. Locker room's pretty empty. But I'm excited. We have another major WWE signing that also broke, I believe it broke today. We have the signing of Hikuleu. He seemingly dropped his contract with New Japan a couple months ago. There was a lot of speculation as to when he would be arriving to WWE, because let's be real, with this Bloodline storyline, it seemed like
he wasn't going nowhere else.
Right.
And then I don't know if you guys heard about this, but the hilarious trademarking of the name Tala Tonga, because he is 6'8". I found that so amusing. Like the creativity.
For sure.
Yeah, that's petty.
But I know, ridiculous. But KB, are you excited for this new addition to the Bloodline? And what do you think that this is going to, how do you think that this is going to shake up the dynamic of the
Bloodline story is never going to end. I just feel it's never going to end. With this new addition, it's just like I am still invested in this Bloodline story. It's just like we adding on more and more people, and when Roman and Jimmy come back, and then when Jay, joins back forces with them, it's just so exciting to see what's all going to happen.
Yes, I feel like this is definitely going to prolong things a little bit. I'm still on the fence as to whether or not Roman back as the face or come back as a heel, just because I don't know what we're building to. We're obviously have like a civil war, but I don't know what they want.
I think he's going to be a face, and I think we discussed this last week with Jacob probably being a spy for Roman. So
yeah, I think the potential of Jacob being a spy for Roman is very, very high. There is a lot of different ways for the potential of this storyline to go. But Gabby, are you familiar with his work in New Japan?
I am very familiar with NJPW. I'm very curious once again to see how he translates in WWE style wrestling. It was, we all know, NJPW, they don't wrestle WWE style. They wrestle very strong, they wrestle very stiff. So I'm kind of curious to see how all of them will play out in the WWE system. Because I mean, they're letting Jacob go crazy. So
crazy.
Yeah.
Jacob's out here killing it. Quite literally killing people. So I'm very curious if they will like pull them back any or let them go crazy. Because like I said, Jacob's out here running. Jacob's living his best life with no filter.
I'm not mad at it though.
Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm enjoying it every week. Yeah, and Reese, what do you think of the potential of the Bloodline? I know Solo's been talking about reclaiming all of the gold in the family. Do you see the potential of this happening with all of these new acquirings into
I gotta be honest, like when I saw him, it kind of put that final piece of the puzzle for me, and my fantasy booking hat just went on. And I have a fantasy booking idea where all the original members of the Bullet Club are also here.
Yo, crazy, right?
So my fantasy booking hat went on, and I'm just like, I don't know. We have so many built-in storylines with him signing, and it's just like we could not even just branch off into two bloodlines. We can also branch off into the Bullet Club with how many the pure sheer mass of signings of the bloodline. Like,
yeah, we got Finn, we got AJ, we have we truly have like OG Bullet Club.
All the OG members. We have all the original OG members of Bullet Club are here. So my fantasy booking hat went there instantly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gotta be surreal.
We have three 3 storylines I can just think of off the top of my head. So I'm very excited to see where this goes.
Love that, love that. And it's really got to be surreal because I know the speculation on when these dudes are going to be arriving into WWE has been not even something of conversation of months, years at this point. So the fact that we're finally getting it, I'm really excited to see where this is going to go. So to close out the news, we have an signing. Rachel Ellering she didn't get the formal All Elite poster, but she is All Elite. She finished up with Ring of Honor, and it seems that she will be a good fit for the AEW brand. Do you guys think that? Are you guys fans of Rachel Ellering?
A little bit of her in, was it the Mae Young Classic that she was in?
I think so.
I know she was with NXT for a little bit, and all the matches I've thoroughly enjoyed. I am excited to see where she goes. I'm surprised she signed with AEW and didn't come back to WWE, especially since her dad is back, with the Authors of Pain and everything like of that nature. But I'm excited to see where she takes this. I think she's a pretty solid. I think I look at her. I think we've also spoke about this briefly, where I look at her as more of a coach than a talent, where it's like she's good at this. She knows the like basics in and out. I think she could have the potential to be a big deal over there. But she strikes me as Serena Deeb or a Molly Holly, if you will.
Yeah, and it's interesting that they chose to take her from ROH because I feel like her and Layla Hirsch were kind of finding like a really good footing together as like a duo. I was kind of enjoying what they were doing together. Maybe Tony has plans to bring Layla, because I've seen Layla being featured on AEW television a little bit as well. So I'm curious to follow. I've started watching ROH towards the back half of the year, and I really not necessarily was like super drawn to her, but she consistently delivered really, really good matches with the time restraints that they gave. So for that, I always like appreciate when a wrestler is able to take an opportunity and run with it with the time that they have. So super, super good stuff with the news today. I'm ready to get into Raw. Raw this week was very, very interesting. We are on the road to SummerSlam. Things are beginning to heat up. We had the amazing opening with Rhea Ripley coming out. Charisma charts off levels. Like, I could not believe how good she looked, how confident she looked. I know that the kids love to say, by the way.
I picked that out. She asked me what she should wear.
Buddy's at home just like, Buddy's at home watching this like.
She asked me what she should wear, and I told her that top. Like this.
And it was a good choice. It was a great choice. So you picked it. You picked your big one. Yeah. She looked fantastic. Both ladies look fantastic. I love the wet look that Liv Morgan had as well. But something that I feel like before we fully get into the promo battle, something that really stood out to me was the level of confidence from both women. Both women, the believability in what they were saying, the presence, everything was really, really there. And it just makes me so excited because I love to see when women's feuds, when everything just clicks and everything just goes right in a feud. So Gabby, I'm going to toss it over to you. What did you think of this opening promo battle between Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley?
So I think Rhea had to come back strong. We haven't seen Rhea in a very long time. I think that she had to kind of come out strong. She had to come out fighting. I thought it was interesting that they didn't have Liv there and they could do a face-to-face. So I think that they're kind of trying to kind of see where, obviously we get to the end of the show, we get there. But they didn't start with the two of them face to face. So they're kind of trying to, like, I don't want to say milk it, but kind of like stretch it out a little bit, right? Because if it gave us that in the first 5 minutes, like, where does it go from there? So it's kind of a mix of like, yes, we're going to get the SummerSlam match. However, they're going to try to possibly like still kind of draw it. I don't think that they're going to end this feud at SummerSlam. I do think it's going to end at Bad Blood. I think it's going to, some shenanigans are going to occur. And it's going to continue to push us kind of further, the storyline further, because they are giving it to us very quickly.
Yeah, it's happening very fast, and I'm not ready for it to end. I think that there's enough story here. I agree with you, Gabby. I think that we can take this all the way to Bad Blood. But KB, I know that you are Team Morgan. There has been a whole bunch of discourse online pertaining to the validity of having Dominic as a pawn in this, or if this is like or if it makes this a viable storyline if modern day women's storyline essentially. I personally don't agree with it because I think that everything that Liv Morgan is doing is mental. I think that Dominic is legitimately a pawn in this. And one of the great story beats in one of the backstage segments was when Rhea, after the match, she walked up to Dominic, she hands him the rose, and goes, I'm not yours, you're mine. And I think right there, Rhea Ripley sealed her fate. I think right there, Rhea Ripley sealed her fate. She showed her true weakness, which is Dominic Mysterio. So do you foresee Mommy leaving SummerSlam with the WWE Women's Championship?
Good question. I feel like Dominic is going to interfere. He is going to originally, like for the past matches, look like he's trying to help Mommy, but it's going to accidentally help Liv. And that's why I agree with both of y'all. I don't think that this feud is going to end at SummerSlam. I think it's going to go all the way to Bad Blood because of Dominic still making mistakes. But that was a good point of you saying that Dom is Rhea's weakness. So
yeah. And you brought up a great point in that you said that you think that Dominic is going to accidentally help Liv winning. Rhea, Rhea. Reese. I'm calling you your girl. Do you?
It's okay. It's okay. We get it all the time.
We go together. Y'all go together real
we
bad.
get it all the time. Rhea, Reese, we get it all the time.
But do you agree? Do you think that Dominic is going to be Team Mommy in this matchup? Do you think that his intentions are true? Or do you think that he will switch up and actually help Liv retain?
Ooh, I don't think he switches up yet.
Ooh,
but
okay.
I do definitely think he means well in terms of helping Mommy. I am very surprised that this is happening so soon. Like we literally just talked about how it would be too soon for SummerSlam. And we wanted to get us a Bad Blood, but like I definitely think that he would mean to intend to help Mommy, but inevitably helps Liv and costs Mommy her chance at getting her title back that she never lost.
Technically, no.
Yeah, that she never really lost.
Yeah,
there's
so
many.
The Finn Balor of it all.
I was just about to say. Like I don't know.
All.
The Finn Balor.
I think.
There are some.
I think Judgment Day might be clipped. I think Judgment Day might be clipped at SummerSlam. Just based off of where everything's going with Damian. We're gonna get into it right now. Actually,
him being face, like he's.
Yeah, that's actually the perfect segue. Let's talk about that Damian Priest and Gunther segment that they had. First off, whoa. Gunther was brutal in everything that he said to the classism of it all, ladies and gentlemen, the classism. But I do love how brutal his promo is, just because that juxtaposition from when we used to go back in the day of 2019, 2022 era, when people would be cutting promos and they would just come across so like disingenuous, like no human would ever say this, to have that now to where two people are standing across from each other in the ring and it just feels like an actual real conversation. I don't know. I was just like, wow, growth. Very, very cool to see. KB, what do you think of Gunther and this whole entire promo battle? Do you think that he's doing everything that he can to kind of set up Damian Priest as a major babyface?
Good question. I feel like with his promo, he was saying for him to step his coins up, for one. For two, when it comes to setting up for a babyface, possibly, yeah, because it seems like, well, I think in the match, I think Finn is going to interfere, but it just like Gunther went so hard. Like Damon didn't really, he had something to say, but it wasn't like it couldn't. What the clapback wasn't clapping back as much to me.
Mm-hmm.
So it
Wasn't
kind of
hitting
is
as
a setup
hard.
because yeah, because like Gunther's promo was like Gunther's promo. He was like basically just talking about even before the on even though even before the ring, he was just talking about like dreams and how everybody has a dream. When he didn't have a dream, he just it was just handed to him and he just did it. So I just feel like he just taking shots the whole time to me. That's what it was.
Yeah, it definitely was a little mean spirited, a little mean spirited for the modern day of WWE. Gabby, what did you think of the promo battle?
But you have to kind of keep in mind, MJF throws these classes promos out every chance he gets. So, like, what is the difference between what Gunther said versus what MJF says on a random Wednesday? It's not very big different, right? We're
Yeah.
not used to it in WWE, but we literally all know MJF's promo. He's going to come out, he's going to call you poor, he's going to call you broke, and he's going to say how great he is, and that's going to be the end of it, right? So again,
Yeah.
what is the difference between a Gunther promo versus an MJF promo? We're just not used to it on WWE, so I have no problem with it. And it also makes sense because we all know that Gunther grew up a little privileged. Trapped. I didn't have a
Yeah.
problem with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely didn't have a problem with it either. I feel like it was a good story beat to help
Mm-hmm.
in a lot of ways. I feel like in a lot of ways this helped Damien because I feel like the crowd was like, he can't talk to him like that. Like, damn, like that was very, very mean.
But he
Like,
Right.
did.
It was a heel
God, oh
promo.
my God. Yeah, exactly. A really, really good one. And so, Reese, I have to ask, like, do you think that we all know? We all
Mm-hmm.
know that Gunther is most likely leaving SummerSlam as our champion. So, do you think that this is going to help Damien, or do you think that this is going to hinder him?
Oh, definitely help solidify him, especially if they want him to be the heel after the Judgment Day inevitably breaks up. Where
Hmm.
it's like we all know the story of even if like we don't know who Punishment Martinez is, we now know what Damian Priest had to go through to get here, to be a WWE superstar. We know that he lived in his car. We know that he was homeless. We know that he's hard up, and to see him get a nod from his hero, which is the Undertaker, to become. If you would have told, I'm not gonna lie, if you would have told me when Punishment Martinez signed with WWE that he would be world heavyweight champion, you would have bought me for $2 because what? You would have bought me for $2 because what do you mean? And I think that does help solidify him, even with like the Bad Bunny and think the Bad Bunny thing, like that helps solidify him as a face after this whole Judgment Day thing is over. I do, and with Gunther, we know that he grew up privileged. Like Gabby said, like we know he grew up privileged. So I definitely think that this helps with us being like, okay, if he does lose the title, I'm not sold on him losing it at SummerSlam. I think we have.
Ooh, okay,
I
okay.
don't think he loses it at SummerSlam. I wouldn't be mad, but I don't think he loses it at SummerSlam. I think that does set it up to if he loses, him being a good chase for it for
For
sure.
sure, definitely.
Yes.
So let's put
Yeah,
a pin in that because not everything can be a setup for Bad Blood. Some things have to get closed out in SummerSlam. Like everything
That's
can't be a
true.
setup. So we kind of have to figure out like what is
yeah,
going to continue
Mm-hmm.
and what stops at SummerSlam because everything can't be a setup for Bad Blood. So like something's got to get a bow, right? And I don't know if that's our bow,
yeah.
if there's anything else that's our bow, but we can't keep running stuff back. So that's my only thing too.
Yeah, and plus I feel like with the added element of that WWE 24 documentary coming out with Damian Priest, I think that
Mm-hmm.
he's going to enter Cleveland as a super, super baby face. I'm very, very excited to see this match. I think that the potential of the predictability of the outcome is very, very high, but I think because of that, where they can make up for it is in the story and in the in-ring psychology in the match. So very, very exciting about that. So let's move on and close out the Raw segment with the Eric Rowan interview. Let's talk a little bit about the Wyatt Six. So we were asking a little bit of questions last week, and we're starting to get a bit more answers. I'm personally enjoying the fact that they're choosing to individually have every single person speak to their experience and why as to why they've chosen to join the Wyatt Six. Gabby, what did you think of the Eric Rowan interview?
So I think that what makes these interviews so great is that they're very authentic. This is not like truly the quote unquote kayfabe storyline. I think these are people's true experiences that they had with Bray and problems and issues and things they've had with their life. The realism is kind of what sells these interviews to me. I mean, even afterwards, Amanda Huber tweeted out that her and her sons were crying watching it because it really hit them hard. So I think that that is very important to kind of realize that while yes, it's kayfabe, this is not kayfabe. These are people speaking from their heart, and being vulnerable on TV for the masses.
Yeah. KB, do you agree?
I definitely agree because especially when I'm speaking on like losing two people within a year, I can't even imagine how that would feel. Grief is not easy at all.
For sure.
Yeah, I can only imagine. And plus, having that choice to tell such super personal details about your life to that extent on camera, it's really, really commendable. So I really, really appreciate all of the Wyatt Six members who are telling their side and their perspective of each of their side of the story. It's super, super harrowing stuff, man. Super, super harrowing stuff. But I do have to ask, because we do have some members who aren't really aligned with previous iterations of everything that was attached to the lore of Bray Wyatt. So Reese, are you interested to see what the Sister Abigail and the Mercy the Buzzard, Dexter Loomis, what their interviews are going to be like?
I am, especially because, okay, with Bo, we have a built-in story of why he feels like this is so important to him. With Eric Rowan, we feel like we know why this is so important to him. But with like a Dexter Loomis, or a Joe Gacy, it's just like, why are you here? Do you feel
Yeah.
forgotten? Like, because I know that the whole point of the YS6 is Bo Dallas bringing people that has seemingly been forgotten or represented or overlooked coming together. So I feel like that's probably why like a Dexter Loomis would have joined, considering the fact that he was released and came back and then injured and then back into obscurity. So I am interested to see what his reasoning behind it was, and if it is some again some lore behind why he is with the Y6, and I'm very interested to know. I definitely thought originally with the tapes that it would just be kind of like Bo Dallas, because we know that he's Uncle Howdy. We know, obviously, again, that's his brother. So when I saw the Eric Rowan one, I was like, oh, okay, so they're making it so that everybody gets a chance to explain why they're here. So I am excited to, like, moving forward to see why they're here.
Yeah. And just to close out, it's seemingly that we have a new chapter in this Wyatt Six story. Chad Gable has finally acquired a new group. It's looking like the Creed brothers are now on his team.
Right.
I'm hoping Ivy Nile is included in this equation, but I do have to say that I enjoy the production side of everything that they've been doing with the Wyatt Six in ring. I think that everything has been looking really, really good. Do you guys agree?
For sure. So excited to see what the
Absolutely.
Creed into it as well. Julius Creed's a
Yeah,
star.
I'm excited to see some. 100%. I'm excited to start seeing some matches. Like I'm ready to start seeing some matches with the Wyatt Six. So let's move on to NXT. NXT had an excellent opener with the Rascals versus Gallus. I feel like they came in with they really wanted to prove themselves. I feel like they really came in there with like a bit of a chip on their shoulders, and they blew those expectations out of the water. As I said before last week, I'm more so familiar with MSK. I didn't really have the pleasure of getting to see Miguel and the Rascals all together on NXT. So I'm going to throw it to Gabby. How did you feel about this opening match?
Yo, I cannot wait for them to turn on Wesley. It's coming. It has to come. Like, there needs to be a plot twist.
Ooh.
There needs to be a plot twist in this. And I truly think that they're going to turn on Wesley.
Interesting.
I do. I see it coming. Mark my words on this.
I didn't know I wanted that until that moment. Thanks, Gab. Because I did not want that until that moment.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
I didn't know I wanted that until you said it.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen sooner than later.
No, but like also.
Because you have to figure out a way to get a feud within a feud, right? So you have to figure out how to set up a feud for both brands that makes sense. Because right now he's at TNA for his anniversary, right? Then they're gonna come back to NXT, and we're going back and forth. But at some point, they're going to beat Wes,
and they're probably going to say,
not
"Well,
be
you
here
stayed
for
here."
it.
Yeah.
I will not be here for it, but it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I didn't know I wanted that until this moment.
That's going to break my heart. But I'm not going to lie. I'm with it. I'm very much entertained by everything that the Rascals has going on right now. I've started going back and doing some homework and watching some matches, and that has been like a pleasure. So super excited to see what they do tonight. Know that Slammiversary is going on. So let's move on. I want to talk about the main event of NXT. Obafemi versus Duke Hudson. Shout out to Chase U. They've been getting a really, really good push as of recently. And definitely one of the matches that I would recommend for this week. KB, were you able to catch that match?
I did. It was very, very good. Like, for Chase U to still get a more of a push, because it's like, for me, just being new to NXT, and being new to Chase U, I only seen like mostly Thea Hale, and now I'm starting to see everyone else. So I needed to see that match. It was very good though.
Yeah, Duke Hudson is a super, super underrated talent in the division. And I feel like a lot of the underrated talents, they kind of like stick and Chase U because they don't really have a full-blown character yet. So it's kind of like a nice little thing to put over them for the time being. Reese, were you able to catch that match?
I was able to catch that match. I really enjoyed Duke Hudson. I'm not gonna lie. I want him out of Chase U because I really did enjoy his original gimmick with the poker player and him. I really enjoyed that, and I think he can stand alone. Don't get me wrong, I love Chase U as a gimmick.
It's not gonna translate well anywhere else, though. That's the problem. Like, it checks out. Like, it's cool. It's like that. It's like the sleepy girl. I forgot her name. Like, that shit's cool in NXT, but it's not gonna go anywhere else. Where is this getting?
We can do a whole show on how I feel about Wendy Cho, but in her gimmick, whereas it's like, you're too good for this, but okay. And that's how I kind of feel about Duke Hudson. Not gonna lie, like, with Duke Hudson, I'm like, I can't wait until you are back on your own again. I understand why they put him with Chase U, but it's just like, I enjoyed his original gimmick. I thought that was a winner for him, and then to have it cut short and then him being stuck with Chase U. I think I told you guys that I feel like Obafemi is up next. I feel like that is our next NXT champion. Like, and if not, I feel like once everybody in that card now, like in our NXT championship card, moves on to the main roster, Obafemi is next to run the entire NXT division. I was really excited to see that match, and I think it was a great showing for both of these gentlemen, for sure.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree. Obafemi is a star. Like, it's only a matter of time until he starts going after that NXT championship. It's really only a matter of time.
He's up next.
So shout out to NXT. So let's get into Dynamite. I know that everybody saw that 60-minute, that hour-long match between MJF and Will Ospreay. I really, really enjoyed it. I'm not used to seeing matches that are touching an hour long on a day-to-day basis. So this was a really, really nice treat. Yeah, a really, really nice treat. I'm curious to see what you guys think about that. I liked the story of Will Ospreay and his arm. I think that was like a really, really good piece and a piece of in-ring psychology that they kept throughout the match to kind of keep everything together. Loved the viral moment of the little girl beating up MJF. I thought that was so cute. Yeah, I thought that was so cute. Yeah, Gabby, what did you think of that match?
I think it was unnecessary. I ain't gonna hold you. It was a good match, but like, man, it was an hour-long match, and like, it was good, but I don't. It wasn't necessary, man. Like, I didn't need that Wednesday night. I don't know if he did that to prove a point. It is kind of crazy. Like, man, like, after about 30 minutes, I checked out. I am like, because they always say this match is going on for an hour. It never goes on for that hour, right? Just was like, yo, I was expecting like a good 15, 20 minutes maybe. But at 30-minute mark, I was like, all right, I am over this. You have lost me. You lost me. And I was lost. And then I turned it off for a minute and I came back. But I was just like, I did not need this right now. Especially when you have so many people in that background who could have used 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes. And instead you're giving them an hour match on a random Wednesday. And I get it was their 250, but like, I didn't need it. Nor did I want it.
I'm dead. I mean, that's so fair because at the end of the day, a 60-minute match is insane. Like insanity. Do you have like the level of cardio, the level of thought that has to go into something like that? I know that AEW, that's like very much AEW's bag. They like the long, intense, drawn out matches. So I'm trying to be here for the ride. KV, were you here for the ride or were you feeling more like Gabby?
Well, I was about to say that I'm feeling like Gabby because after a minute, I'm like, this is gonna be an hour. This is a long match. I'm thinking like, I know it's 250, just like Gabby said. I'm like, this is something you put on a pay-per-view. Like, it was just very long for me.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking, yeah, it was like Blood and Guts. Like, why wasn't this on Blood and Guts or something? Like on another pay-per-view.
Yeah, it became dreadful at this point. I was like, it's still going on. Like it kind of got my attention once they started doing the pin routine, like 1, 2, and then another pin after pin after pin. But after that, it was just like, okay, wrap this up.
I'm dead. Reese, do you feel the same? Were you over this match?
I hate long matches, like Iron Man matches. I don't need 65 different pins. I don't need that. But like long matches and me don't get along. I feel like this could have been solved in 25.
I told you. Max.
However, for an hour-long match, there were points where it picked up and grabbed my attention again. So it wasn't just like a lag. And then 60 minutes, it was like, lag. Like, okay, this is long. Oh, this is cool. This is interesting. Like, oh, this is dope.
But then you immediately go back into like, all right.
Yeah, they are still here.
They're still going.
Still y'all. Like,
y'all still here?
But again, I enjoy both of these gentlemen's work. Will Ospreay and me. I have a love-hate relationship with Will Ospreay. However, I will not ever take away the fact that I respect him and his talent. Like, he has a talent for this. He is great in ring. He has great in-ring psychology. I did enjoy this match though. However, I will say the overall consensus is, for me, I did very much enjoy this match.
Yeah, I enjoyed the match too. To what you guys were saying, it was super funny. I was watching it with my husband. He kept coming out and coming in, and he was like, they're still going. They're still wrestling. This is like the same match. Like, you're not watching like a rerun. I was like, no, babe, this is the same match.
This is a new thing.
So to your guys' sentiment, I could definitely see how a match like this can be very drawn out, and it could have very much been an email type beat. But that closes out Dynamite for this week, and that closes out our show. Super great week whole lot of news, whole lot of things to discuss.
Absolutely.
I'm going to throw it to Gabby. Where can we find you on your socials?
You guys can find me at Charm City Gabby. Gabby is spelled Gabii.
All right. What about you, KB?
You can find me at Meticulous Key, Meticulouski.
All right. And you, Reese?
For Instagram threads, I am Genius Reed. Is GENIUSREE. And for Twitter, or X as it's called now, I'm _Genius Reed, spelled the same way.
Where can we find you at, girl?
And for my social, so for Instagram, you can find me at Ash_Benny or Benny's Block _. And if you guys want to follow the collective, follow the group, follow the brand, you can find us at Instagram at Lip Gloss N, the letter N, Ladders. That's Lip Gloss N Ladders. I believe we're that for TikTok as well. And then on Twitter, we are just Lip Gloss Ladders. So that is our show this week. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Be sure to put down the lip gloss and pick up a ladder, and we'll see you next week.